Hello there, and welcome. Before we begin, I invite you to find a comfortable position. Perhaps you are lying on your bed, or nestled under a soft blanket, feeling the gentle rise and fall of your chest with each breath. Take a moment to let your hands rest, your eyes soften, and allow the world outside to fade a little. This is a story not meant to startle, but to quietly guide your mind into a gentle, sleepy journey. Tonight we will wander through a tale of a home, its people, and the gentle passage of time, a story whispered through the quiet halls of history, where even ordinary lives hold moments of subtle mystery. Imagine, if you will, a small house in a peaceful village, perhaps centuries ago, with wooden beams that have known many generations. Outside, the wind brushes softly through the trees, and distant church bells mark the slow rhythm of the evening. This story is about a home and its roommates. Over time, some went away, some remained, and others quietly disappeared from memory, leaving only faint traces, like a forgotten song humming softly through the walls. In the early days, the house welcomed its first occupants. Imagine a modest kitchen, where the hearth crackles softly, casting a warm, golden glow over polished wooden tables. The roommates would gather here each morning, brewing tea or grinding grain, their hands moving with familiar motions. The air smelled faintly of herbs drying by the windowsill, perhaps lavender or rosemary, tucked neatly in small bundles. Outside the window, the sun would rise slowly over a cobblestone street, the light spilling gently across the roofs of neighboring homes. Perhaps a neighbor's cat stretched lazily in the morning warmth, or a carriage creaked softly as it passed by. The roommates shared quiet routines, folding clothes, tending small gardens, reading letters by the flickering light of the fireplace. Life moved slowly, deliberately, with a comforting rhythm. Evenings in the house were especially gentle. Soft laughter might ripple through the hallway, mingling with the faint crackle of firewood. One roommate would practice weaving, while another hummed a melody learned from their grandmother long ago. Outside, night birds sang quietly and leaves rustled as a gentle breeze passed by. This rhythm, this slow dance of daily life, became the heartbeat of the home. Among the roommates, each had their own little habits, quietly filling the house with a gentle tapestry of life. Perhaps one woke early to sweep the floor, leaving trails of warm sunlight catching on the dust motes in the air. Another might linger by the window, gazing out at the garden, tracing patterns on the frosty panes with a finger, thinking of faraway places they had only read about in old manuscripts. Meals were slow, unhurried affairs. Fresh bread, golden and steaming, lay in a simple basket. A soft cheese rested on wooden boards, and tea brewed in a small, hand-painted pot released wisps of gentle steam into the room. Sometimes one roommate would recite a poem softly, their voice barely more than a whisper, while another listened and traced the lines of the manuscript, eyes half closed with comfort. The world beyond the house felt distant, as though time had decided to linger a little longer within these walls. Evening walks along the narrow village lanes were unhurried, with lanterns swaying gently in the hands of passers-by. Each street held quiet secrets, patterns of worn cobblestones, a faded mural painted decades ago, the soft creak of a wooden sign swinging in the wind. These small details, easily overlooked by those in a rush, became the companions of the roommates, a quiet chorus of observation and thought. As seasons turned, subtle changes began to mark the house's history. Perhaps a roommate left one morning, quietly, with a bundle of belongings tied in cloth, leaving a note folded neatly on the table. Their absence was not alarming, but it was noticeable. A small gap at the hearth, an empty chair, the faint echo of a soft laugh that no longer filled the hallway. Days passed gently, as if the house itself acknowledged these changes. The remaining roommates continued their routines, noticing details anew. The way the sunlight fell differently on the table, the new pattern of frost on the windows, the whisper of wind through the garden. Even the most ordinary objects, cups, brushes, books, seemed to hold the memory of those who had touched them. Sometimes, in the quiet moments just before sleep, a roommate would think they saw a familiar shadow pass through the room, only to remember that it was now empty. The house was patient, carrying these quiet absences like soft notes in a long melody, neither demanding nor frightening, just gently present.